Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the final comic book movie for Marvel Studios this year, clocks in at a massive 2 hours and 41 minutes. While it's definitely felt in parts, can the movie handle the pressure that has been put on it? Director Ryan Coogler makes a try at the Marvel formula, and I guess somewhat succeeds. Just for a moment, allow me to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this movie is the worst thing since Ghostbusters 2016 in order to join the hate train against the alleged Hollywood agenda. And I'm also not going to say that it's the best movie ever released in order to avoid the boogeyman backlash that some critics obviously fear when they lavish praise on subpar movies. I'll just say that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is, I guess, okay. Unfortunately, it falls short of the next level due to the strange pacing, awkward action scenes, hasty finish and dull colour palette. It was a loss for Hollywood that Chadwick Boseman passed away so young. He played the eponymous superhero in Marvel's blockbuster Black Panther from 2018. Additionally, it disrupted the planned Marvel film franchise. After Boseman's passing, this issue wasn't the most pressing one, but the industry's dominant machine would have to address it in some way. These efforts accumulated in a film Wakanda Forever. Director Ryan simultaneously dwells on a tragedy and picks up on the pieces and moves on. Even as the demands of the brand upkeep place an increasing burden on him, Coogler does the unpleasant role with grace. The movie opens with Prince T'Challa's death by an unknown sickness. It's a dark beginning, but one that was probably required. It's admirable that Coogler and company choose to let T'Challa depart quietly than rather try to give him a huge digital send-off. It's more courteous to attempt the harsh fact than to attempt to somehow make Boseman's death better by making it more dramatic, heroic, or grandiosa. Marvel is very much counting on you to be overwhelmed and fall for the ruse while ignoring the movie's obvious shortcomings. Wakanda Forever doesn't seem to know where it's going from this point, trying to balance an emotional send-off for Chadwick while setting up a whole new narrative to the one they most likely had originally intended. This culminating in a mismatch of ideas that never really stick. Let's begin with the dialogue. Either the characters are starting a succession of explanations or they are giving explanations themselves. Even Ramada and Suri, or Suri and Namor's sincere heart-to-heart exchanges are nothing more than information dumps. However, none of the buzzwords they use, such as grief, loss, mourning, trauma, and vengeance, seem to be coming from their hearts. They constantly come off as cold and manufactured, which is certainly a problem with the Marvel Phase 4 as a whole, not just Wakanda Forever. As much as Coogler and Marvel would like you to think that it's a tribute to Chadwick, it's really just a platform for Marvel's upcoming projects. The movie is intended to be about Talokun interrupting Wakanda's period of sorrow, so why is Riri Williams present here then? Why are Martin Freeman's character Everett Ross and Julia Dreyfus' character Valentina in the movie? I'll explain. It serves to entice you to see the Ironheart TV series, the Secret Invasion TV series, and the Thunderbolts movie, all produced by Phase 5. Because of this, the entire display of melancholy and these endless displays of tears seem disingenuous. Side note here, Dominique Fawn, aka Ironheart, is a great cast. She's likeable and funny, yet serious when needed, but oh boy, that Ironheart suit really is quite something, and it looks like it was ripped straight from a Disney Plus TV show. It's not good. I'm also unsure how general audiences are going to take Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man replacement, but that's for another day. A huge issue for me while watching Wakanda Forever is that it's just too dark. No, not that the material we're handed is dark. I mean, the film as a whole is so dark and colourless to watch. The first time we see Namor interact with Suri and her mother Amanda, I found myself struggling to see what was even on the screen, and this doesn't let up for the majority of the movie. You would think the first time we're introduced to Namor's underwater city of Talokun would be an incredible spectacle, a visual treat, but again we're left struggling to see what's even on the screen. This all seems like a very odd stylistic choice. It's such a massive contrast to the original Black Panther, which was awash with vibrant colours. It's not until the final act we finally get to see some of the beautiful colours and designs of the Wakanda people's clothing. One of the few highlights in this movie is the chemistry between Letitia Wright and Dana Ganira. Their side mission to pick up Thorn almost felt like a buddy cop movie, which I really enjoyed. Also, having Coogler at the helm is the right choice, as he's an expert filmmaker at uncovering the deeper human qualities that lie beneath the veneer of genre. He complies with studio requirements to the best of his abilities, while simultaneously attending his own melancholy, his own social and political concerns. His were perhaps the only hands in which this particular movie could be trusted. Wakanda Forever does have its dazzling, unmistakable delights, least you believe it's all doom and gloom. It's encouraging to see so many women at the centre of the Marvel movie. Letitia Wright, Angela Bassett, Lupita Nyong'o, Dana Gariru, and other prominent actors attract attention while wearing Ruth Carter's exquisite costumes. This movie's lavish graphics, including its depictions of busy old town Wakanda, a mystery city beneath the sea, and a glittering technology and natural settings, are lavish and well thought out when they're not plunged into darkness on the screen. This film exhibits a level of workmanship and attention to detail that is superior to other Marvel productions. However, some people will undoubtedly miss Black Panther's sharp concentration and vigour. This follow-up is dispersed, an enormous growth with a hole in the middle. The movie's characters are thrown to the wind during their grieving and sent on their own depressing paths, but it also appears that the movie is keeping busy to avoid being weighed down by its dejection. Instead of adding new characters to a plot that was originally intended for T'Challa, one hopes that Coogler and crew had more time to think things through, to gather their thoughts, and to determine the absolute absolutely best course of action. However, as economics does not wait for a period of thought, they have fulfilled their contractual obligations on time and in the most honourable way that was possible and attainable. With my final thoughts, I'll leave you with this. Is Black Panther Wakanda Forever the worst film of the year? Absolutely not. But there are clear signs for Marvel to resume film production rather than selling merchandise that advertises upcoming merchandise. They should select a genre and stay with it. It's not necessary for everything to be a display of action. If the story demands an intimate approach, then the larger set pieces where hordes of unidentified characters are fighting or racing through the screen before we can even observe what's happening must be abandoned. Their characters must be given room to breathe. They must permit scenes to have a feeling of seriousness. They must allow their directors to create a film rather than a pitch for the franchise's countless sequels and spin-offs. But it's evident that Kevin Feige and company aren't all that interested in achieving any of that based on the flood of Phase 5 and Phase 6 announcement. Actually, they don't have to. They may continue doing what they are doing, as long as they can see the dollar signs glistening in their eyes and hear the piercing cries of the admirers. And if they want to be recognised as the production company that produced the most films and television programmes, rather than the studio that produced the best films and programmes, then who is to tell them otherwise? I'd love to hear your thoughts below, whether you love Wakanda Forever or you just see it as yet another comic book movie. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe for more British rambles in the future.